focusing on food and nutrition sufficiency, digital technologies and ICT in agriculture, women and...
Good morning and welcome. We are live here in Kiambu County, where we are currently at the Kenya Agricultural and Livestock Research Organization headquarters. Today we'll be having the Mkulima Expo 2021, and we look forward to having insightful conversations with our panelists as well as all the attendants of this particular forum. And our focus will be really what next after COVID, and what are we doing in the agricultural space to drive the agenda. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we shall be also having some live engagements from reporters from across the country. We shall be speaking to Noah Kipkemboi, who will be joining us shortly. He'll be at the exhibition stand, where we have a number of exhibitions happening, and a lot of the farmers and experts will be sharing experiences with all the attendants. Over and above that, we'll be crossing over to other counties across the country to just get perspectives on what is happening on the ground. I'll be your host for the next 1 hour. My name is Abi Agina. You can engage with us at KTN News, KE. You can also engage with us at KTN Farmers TV. And also, not forgetting, you can also tweet us through the KALRO Twitter handle. We look forward to having a very robust engagement. Before we introduce our panelists, I'd like to give us an opening remark from the KTN Standard Group family. COVID-19 has had an adverse effect on all spheres of life, impacting on cultural, social, and economic activities. Within the agricultural sector, curfews, lockdowns, and international travel bans have had a direct impact on food production, agro-processing, access to local and international markets. The ripple effects have trickled down to employment, food security, and access to key inputs, resulting in food waste, unemployment, and poverty. Despite the challenges, players within the agricultural value chains have been resilient to safeguard the sector. The Standard Group and the Kenya Agricultural and Livestock Research Organization have strategically collaborated to promote good agricultural practices through various platforms and events. In this regard, the two organizations have organized a semi-virtual edition of the annual Mkulima Expo 2021 that seeks to highlight how various stakeholders have adapted to the challenges posed by the pandemic to ensure food safety from farm to fork. The two-day event will comprise of plenary sessions and panel sessions on respective thematic areas, including food and nutrition sufficiency, sessions on digital technologies and ICT in agriculture, women and youth in agriculture, welfare. There will also be exhibitions and demonstrations. Well, that is our forum for today, and I'd like to invite on stage to open up this forum with a word of prayer as we bless this day and look forward to having a fruitful time here at the KALRO headquarters. Allow me to invite now on stage Dr. Monica Waiganjo, who is the Director for Partnerships at KALRO. Let's give her a round of applause as she comes on stage.
Thank you so much. I just want us to all bow for a word of prayer. Our Heavenly Father, we are before the seat of mercy with thanksgiving, even for the gift of life and this good day, dear Lord. We are so happy that you have seen us through the far that we have come. For all good things, Lord, come from you. Therefore, we want to commit ourselves in your hands, that you will direct us and be with us, so that this Mkulima Expo will be a great success, not only for being seen to be a success, but for the fruits that it will bear even after we have done the job. I thank you for all those that are listening to us and those that have come to exhibit. I pray that you may bless them. Let them know that whatever good thing they do, dear God, you can see, and their reward is great in your kingdom. We pray that you will be with us and you take us through. And when we see the end of this day, which I believe we will, all glory and honor shall return to you. For this we ask in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ.
Amen. And the church said, Amen. All right. Thank you, Dr. Waiganjo, for opening up for us with a word of prayer. At this point in time, I'd like to invite Njoki Dhuo, who is the project lead at Farm Kenya, from the Standard Media Group. Let's appreciate her as she comes on stage.
Thank you so much, Abby, for the warm welcome. I'm here to do the opening remarks for this event, and I'm looking forward to a wonderful day today. Engineer Secretary, Ministry of Agriculture, Livestock, Fisheries and Cooperatives, Engineer Richard Kanui, Head of Corporate Affairs, Standard Group, Mr. Charles Kemathi, Director Partnerships, KALRO, Dr. Monica Waiganjo, Regional Director, East Africa, Syngenta Foundation, George Osure, representatives from KALRO and the Standard Media Group, and invited guests. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. As you've heard, my name is Njoki Dhuo, and it's my privilege and pleasure to welcome you on behalf of the Standard Media Group here today. Feel very, very welcomed. So we are delighted to have you here and to have you participate and share with us for the first ever Mkulima Expo. As Abby had earlier on hinted, Mkulima Expo is a flagship event under the Farm Kenya in partnership with the Kenya Agricultural and Livestock Research Organization. The aim of this event is to provide a platform for the industry players who are present here today to showcase their products, services, and technologies that the public needs to adopt for increased productivity of their agri-enterprises. Guided by our theme for the year, which is resilience in the agricultural sector amid this COVID-19 pandemic, which you'll hear most of our guests referring to, the Expo seeks to showcase how the different organizations present today have soared above the different challenges brought around by the pandemic. Among the organizations we have today who will be exhibiting as well as participating in the panel discussions, we'll have different KALRO centers like KALRO Kabete, which will showcase different technologies in soil analysis, plant tissue analysis, water and fertilizer, crop protection research, and others. We'll also have the Veterinary Research Institute for all your research needs on livestock, as well as the Genetic Resources Research Institute, which will showcase the different genetic activities that are carried out by KALRO. The other most critical organization we have present here, at least for Loresho, is the Kenya Veterinary Vaccines Production Institute, KVVAPI, which will be showing us the different livestock vaccines that are out there for the Kenyan public to take advantage of. Then we'll be also getting interesting projects through KALRO, which will showcase different technologies. For example, we do have a project called the Pre-Cooked Beans Project, which is showing how the Kenyan population can access safe nutrition through their pre-cooked beans. The Expo is one of a kind, as earlier indicated, and it's not only happening here at KALRO headquarters. We have 3 more KALRO centers carrying out similar exercises today and tomorrow, and they're spread out through the counties. So the strategic centers that we selected as the joint organizing committee between Standard Media Group and KALRO are KALRO Kakamega for the Western Bloc, KALRO Njoro, which is a food crop institute for the North Rift. Then we have KALRO Naivasha for Dairy Research Institute. The 3 centers are open to the public for today and tomorrow, where the public will be interacting with the center experts for the different technologies, innovations, and good management practices disseminated by each center. Then, since the current situation does not allow for physical meetings, all the proceedings are being televised live on KTN Farmers TV and partly on KTN News. Therefore, we expect to have minimal walk-ins at the different centers as well as the HQ here. So, apart from the exhibits, I think my colleague Abby mentioned, and this one-hour launch, we shall have 5 panel sessions spread throughout the 2 days with key experts, both from KALRO and other participating organizations. And we shall be discussing different topics as guided by the theme for this year's Mkulima Expo. So prepare yourself to be challenged, excited, and inspired by Mkulima Expo 2021. Before I hand over to Abby, our coordinator for the day, I'd like to say on behalf of the Joint Organizing Committee that's comprised of members from KALRO and Standard Media Group, welcome to Mkulima Expo. It's a pleasure to have you here, and we welcome you in all our centers. Spread the word, call people in Kakamega, Njoro, and Naivasha, and tell them the Expo is open for them. Thank you so much and have a lovely day.
All right, a better round of applause for Njoki Thuo. Very uplifting words of encouragement as we kickstart our launch today. At this point in time, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to invite on stage a man who is slightly taller than I, a man who is making a big impact in the industry of agriculture, and that is Mr. George Osure, the Regional Director for East Africa, Syngenta Foundation. Karibu as you come on stage. Let's appreciate him.
Good morning, everybody. And thank you very much, first of all, to the Standard Media Group for this event, but for most important, for the appropriate setting, which is KALRO for us. We find it very appropriate for hosting it here. So we thank the representatives who are here to pass our message of congratulations to the Director General and his team. But most important, we have with us the Ministry of Agriculture. The Engineering Secretary is here, who has also given me some very important pointers. And so I think we are going to believe and listen to a very positive statement. For us in the Syngenta Foundation for Sustainable Agriculture, we are part of the Syngenta group, which most people know as selling seeds and chemicals. The Syngenta Foundation has got offices in Senegal, in India, in Bangladesh, in Mali, in Kenya, and Vietnam. Most important is that we have found across the whole world is that farmers need information, which is what this forum is providing. Second part of it is farmers are now going into, the private sector is now going into public-private partnerships. That's why you see strong representation by the Ministry of Agriculture. The third element is that the farmers need quality and information related to their interaction with the business world. And that's why we have Kevevapi here. Oh, okay. Sorry about that. The most important thing is that the farmers need information related to how they shall interact with their county governments, with their central government, with businesses. So today, and to us, my reason for looking forward to these 2 days and attending this function is the quality of information that is available to the public, which is in KALRO, that's the apex of agricultural information in this country. In our thinking, we have found that one of the biggest standalone ideas that has not been effectively exploited is an opportunity that is being created by the research system for business. And this is I mean that the technologies we are talking about, the pre-cooked beans, the cassava technologies, honey production, and so on. All these are available, poultry, and the list is long. All these are available, but we don't look at them as opportunities to create employment in your village, in your county, in your ward, nationally, but we look at them as items that are there for us to work on my small farm. So my first point of encouragement is the people who are attending across the country to look at the opportunities these create. The second side to this is that in the Syngenta Foundation, we work with banks and we work with people who provide credit. One of the biggest issues, they say, is risky to lend to agriculture. But the risk levels have been lowered a lot by the government, because today you can take loans with no security. Secondly, you are able to now take loans as a group and strengthen each other. So there are groups now in the central part of Rift Valley who are growing seed potatoes, which before was not possible. So I would also encourage everybody else to think about these opportunities. The most important crop we grow in this country is maize, but there are so many other crops we can grow in all these areas. The Syngenta Foundation started off on a 1-acre farm growing potatoes in Samburu, in Poro Division. Today, there are over 100 farmers growing potatoes there, in an area not many people believed we could grow potatoes. We did potato growing in Yatta with the National Youth Service a few years back. We've been able to grow potatoes in Taveta. Potatoes are able to grow in Wajir. So my point of information here is that please let us look at the opportunities that are created by research, and this same data I'm talking about is available within the research systems. And again, on our approach in the Syngenta Foundation, we use a public-private partnership system. That means that we work through government, we work with government, and we partner with government. Why those three levels? It's because through, they have the information. With, they have the information. Partner with them, they have the information. So they are actually technical advisors who we should take advantage of. And in conclusion, I would like to mention and encourage everybody again that in our projects that we do, we don't do projects that are short-term. We do long-term projects, we do cross-border projects, and we do projects in other countries. And we were discussing prior to coming in here, you would not actually believe it. I've been fortunate enough to travel across Africa, and Kenya has a very strong position, and it's a leading country in technology dissemination, information sharing, and policy-driven work. So I think let us build on that and not look at ourselves as being at a disadvantage. And with that, the engineering secretary, and the standard editorial corporate manager, and Esther, our partnership director within KALRO, I thank you very much for that opportunity, and I'll be happy to answer any questions afterwards, because I think I should give the others time for that. Thank you very much.
A better round of applause for Mr. Osure. Osure has been convincing me to get into farming, and I am convinced I'll be going big into farming. I wouldn't have to wait till I retire. Well, at this point in time, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to invite on stage a man who is known to most of us, and he is behind the Corporate Affairs Department at the Standard Media Group, the largest privately owned media station. Allow me to invite on stage Mr. Charles Kimathi.
Thank you very much, Abby. It's a great pleasure to be here today. Engineer, can you? Jojo Sure, Dr. Waiganjo, of course, Director General KALRO, Dr. Eliud Kirega, KALRO representatives and staff of Standard Group, Kevivapi representatives, ladies and gentlemen. I want to make a couple of remarks on behalf of our CEO, Mr. Orlando Lyomu, who was not able to join us today, but who is actually the vision bearer of what we call the Farm Kenya initiative. And you will see the enthusiasm within the Standard Group fraternity across the country around this initiative, about what we want to do with agriculture in this country, and why we are going to spend 2 full days with you across the country and going to the farms to bring this story to the public in Kenya, because we are committed to creating solutions jointly with all the stakeholders, both in the private and public sector. So about a year ago, the Standard Group entered into a partnership with KALRO. And the key objective there was to disseminate agricultural information, educate farmers on good agricultural practices, and share KALRO's vast research knowledge with the public through the Standard Group's popular TV, print, radio, and digital platforms. So why would we want to do this? It's because we want to provide the answers to the questions that Kenyans have been asking. If we are the best in agricultural research in Africa, why is it that the information is not available to the public? Why is it that the small-scale farmer is struggling? Why is it that the small-scale farmer is asking we in the media to provide those answers? We are not agricultural experts. But we thought, look, the way to answer those questions is to partner with organizations like KALRO and provide an easy way, simplified way, ease of access, ease of consumption of that information through simple videos, and educate ourselves collectively and solve our everyday problems. Now, a lot of young people are the ones who are driving this. So for us, the youth agenda is critical, and is the reason we thought that these questions really must be addressed in a credible way, in a manner that is believable, and by the experts themselves. So we create that ecosystem that will deliver those solutions. So we as an organization are focused on really contributing to the SDGs. And for this purpose, really the key SDG we are focusing on is SDG number 2, on fighting all forms of hunger and malnutrition by 2030. And we believe that some of these targets are really achievable, and especially for a country like Kenya that has everything going for it. So we hope that collectively we will be focused on providing those solutions, and we become the driver, at least from a media perspective, of delivering these solutions to the public. Farm Kenya initiative was created by the Standard Group to create the platform for all the players in the agricultural sector. We want to ensure that we're actually promoting sustainably and continuously the agricultural practices, good agricultural practices, supporting especially the small-scale farmers, looking at technology, the markets, food security, agribusiness, drought mitigation, and really be in the forefront of transforming the agricultural sector and indeed the country. Now, KALRO is the knowledge partner, and we really are proud to have KALRO as, a partner for the Standard Group, because we are sure that we are delivering accurate, relevant, and timely information that will help those who have been asking us and asking everybody the questions that I posed, the ability to create profitable ventures. So why would we spend time creating platforms such as the Farmers TV? It's an investment, 24-hour TV station. The Smart Harvest and Technology pull-out in the Standard is on Saturday Standard. Maisha Kilimo, which is a weekly agricultural show on Radio Maisha. Farmers.co.ke, our very interactive website. And creating a digital marketplace for a whole range of agri-data. Now, really, we believe that that investment is the way to go. The model where we receive advertising from the private sector and the public sector for promoting goods and services is a model that has worked for us over a period of time, a long period of time. But we are aware that that model has to change, and that going forward, really what would work for the stakeholders in the agricultural sector is really to partner and create solutions together. And we are talking about co-creating these solutions, and we do our part in disseminating those solutions. The platforms, therefore, that we create, as I've mentioned, are really available for your use. And where those platforms are not adequate, our message, both to the public sector, within government, and the private sector, is that we will create more platforms that are relevant to solving the needs of the farmers as we know them, or as they emerge. And it's the reason that we have also gone out to create and connect directly with farmers through events like Mkulima Expo. We have also Farmers Connect, where we go to the counties, and also through our various digital platforms, including the social media platforms. Now, since the launch of the partnership with KALRO, we have successfully organized at least 5 virtual events, 3 value chain series, including a 3-day farmer training in this same hall, with a good number of farmers attending. Now, one of the notable virtual events that we jointly executed last year with KALRO was the World Food Day, which also included other organizations. We have disseminated a lot of content that we believe has been useful, and a lot of this is also driven by KALRO's own Kenya Agricultural Observatory platform, the KEO platform, which is really a super platform that has excellent information. So we are committed to breaking this down and ensuring that farmers across the country are able to access that platform. Today, as we launch Mkulima Expo, I urge farmers and our audience at large to acquire the much-needed knowledge in agriculture. We want to make sure that we bridge the gaps that exist in terms of access to information. The experts can be assured that the platforms will be accessible to them. So by bringing together the knowledge that the experts have and the platforms that we are creating, we are sure that despite COVID, we will be able to see agriculture moving on to the next level. And since we are talking about resilience in agriculture, as I conclude, I just want to tell you a very quick short story, which is actually a true story. There's a gentleman that we met in Makueni County, a young man who decided to quit his job in a telecommunication company to go and rear chicken. And that was around April, so you can imagine what was happening around that time. And he did it for 2 or 3 months and realized the biggest challenge was his feed. He couldn't get enough feed because the flock was increasing. And he decided to become innovative, to try to put together feed to reduce costs, because that was his biggest challenge. Otherwise, he wouldn't make any money. And then he realized everyone in the community where he was operating from was actually coming to him to take his feed. So he began selling the feed. So he didn't have enough for his own chicken. So he transited from rearing the chicken to the feeds business, poultry feed business. Now that is his big business now. Now it tells you just the kind of gaps that exist out there. He has done pretty well, and he has been rewarded as well because he tried to dig a borehole initially. So a few years ago it didn't work. This time around he moved the location, tried again, and got a lot of water. Now this is Makueni we are talking about. So you can see the kind of transformation and the belief in agriculture that young people have. Now obviously the story doesn't end there, is that whereas he wants to increase his capacity, capital is a big issue. So even as we discussed today, let's look at all aspects of the business. How does he, as young people like this, access that capital? And I liked what Sure said about just those possibilities that do exist, so that we are not only disseminating information and looking at the agribusiness side of it, the agro part of the business, but indeed in transiting them by providing the market, providing the capital, and working with all these young people, and also our farmers who have been the backbone, of this enterprise for many years, and ensure that their businesses are becoming profitable, because it's all about sustainability, and that can only be brought by the level of profits that you can actually generate from the agribusiness. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'll end my remarks there, and welcome, and have a good day today and tomorrow, and let's all learn all this beautiful, beautiful content that is being provided by KALRO and its partners. Thank you very much.
Better round of applause for Mr. Kimathi. Allow me now to invite Dr. Monica Waiganjo. She'll be coming on stage to read the speech by the Director General for KALRO. And thereafter, we'll allow her to invite our chief guest, Engineer Richard Kanui. And I'll request us to be brief and to the point. Thank you, Madam Waiganjo.
All of you for listening to a lady's voice. You are expecting to hear from our DG, but technology at times fails us, but I'm sure he's with us, and he'll be following very closely on what we are saying, because this is what he wanted to say. So I'll just go straight to the opening remarks, and I hope you appreciate his remarks. So the PS, State Department of Crop Development and Agricultural Research, Ministry of Agriculture, Livestock and Fisheries, and Cooperatives, Professor Hamadi Boga, represented here by Engineer Kanui, the CEO, Standard Group, Mr. Orlando Liomu, who is represented here by Charles Kimathi, esteemed guests, participants of Mkulima Expo 2021, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. First and foremost, I wish to welcome all of you here at Loresho and to the semi-virtual event which is named Mkulima Expo 2021. This is an initiative of Kenya Agricultural and Livestock Research Organization, KALRO, and Standard Group, SG, following a memorandum of understanding that we signed in May last year. In this MOU, each partner brought on board their unique strengths. KALRO is the knowledge partner, providing information on technologies and innovations, as we all know, with SG as the media partner, which avails all its 360 platforms to disseminate agricultural research information to target audiences. KALRO will continue to enhance partnerships such as this to leverage on resources and capabilities. Such partnerships enhance implementation of our mission, which is to conduct agricultural research through application of science, technology, and innovation, and to catalyze sustainable growth and development in agriculture and livestock. As you may be aware, KALRO was established through the Kenya Agricultural and Livestock Research Act, or number 17 of 2013, with a mandate to conduct research research of strategic national importance and to produce technologies, information, knowledge, and approaches to support the agricultural and livestock sector. The scope and diversity of our mandate allows us to contribute to the national development agenda through scientific innovation. We currently have 16 institutes and 57 centers, which are strategically spread throughout the country to cater for different disciplines, agroecological zones, and socio-economic systems. Ladies and gentlemen, Mkulima Expo 2021 semi-virtual event seeks to highlight how agricultural producers are managing to beat the COVID-19 pandemic to ensure we have adequate and safe food on the table every day. The theme of the Expo, as we all know, is resilience in the agricultural sector amid COVID-19 pandemic. This theme resonates very well with the 6 sub-themes that form the subject of discussions in the 2-day event. These sub-themes, which are well articulated in our concept note, are food safety and nutrition sufficiency, digital technologies and ICT in agriculture, women and youth in agriculture, public-private partnerships in agriculture, and livestock, health, and welfare. All these will be discussed in panel discussions, plenary, and question and answer sessions and exhibitions, which are pitched out here. It is important to mention here that all these sessions will be conducted virtually with minimal gatherings, and they will be broadcasted live on KTN, Farmers TV, KTN News, and streamed on various online platforms. I therefore urge all of you to stay connected. Ladies and gentlemen, it is evident that this event, that the public and private sector can work together to improve agricultural resilience even under difficult situations such as we are having of COVID-19 pandemic. The spread of the disease has changed the way of doing things, and since we must continue communicating with our farmers, the mass media, including social media, is increasingly becoming more relevant than interpersonal communication that we traditionally used because of the limitations of COVID-19. I'm excited to say that for the first time, KALRO is simultaneously showcasing its wealth of research through live broadcasts from 4 research locations, namely KALRO DRI, that is Dairy Research Institute Naivasha, the Food Crops Research Institute Kakamega, and the Food Crops Research, the Non-Ruminant Research Institute in Kakamega and Food Crops Research Institute in Joro. And we are going to notice that we have several of other centers who are exhibiting here at our headquarters. SG has availed its live outside broadcasting services to us, and we cannot underestimate its value. Thank you very much for that. And the impact of disseminating information to our farmers. We also appreciate the SG's financial support that augmented KALRO's financial contribution to allow the functioning of this event. All this has been made possible by the Standard Group, represented here by the CEO, also represented by Charles Kimathi in his stead, and we are very grateful for this generous gesture. I take this opportunity to also thank everyone else who is participating in this event. We sincerely appreciate all the material and financial support, considering the economic hardships that we are experiencing globally as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic, and also the other challenges that we know. It is my sincere wish that you will stay tuned to the channels that I mentioned earlier, and you will actively interact with the experts, most of who are here, during these sessions and exhibitions. Your interest demonstrated in attendance and active participation in this semi-virtual event will be a stimulus and a sure determinant for organizing such events in the future. I also hope that your expectations for this forum will be fully met. Ladies and gentlemen, as I conclude, I would like to applaud the Joint Membership Committee. I think they can stand because they are here. You can all appreciate their presence, of KALRO and SG. Can clap for them as they tell them to sit. And I'm also studying, but I will not sit. We recently appointed, this is DG talking, that we recently appointed with my counterpart, Leomu, to spearhead implementation of the MOU. I am pleased to inform the committee that we are happy with your effort of implementing the identified areas of collaboration, and we will continue supporting you moving forward. That's a great assurance. With these few remarks, it is my pleasant duty and honor to invite the PS, represented here by Engineer Kanui, to officiate the opening of the Mkulima Expo 2021 semi-virtual event.
Yes, Dr. Iganjo, representing the CEO KALRO, represented from the Standard Group, led by Kimathi and Thu and the rest of the group, and my colleague George, and other invited guests. Good morning. Yeah, I'm here to represent my PS, Professor Mandi Boga. He was not able to be around, and therefore I'm here to present the keynote on his behalf. Allow me to pick my glasses. The pandemic has changed so many things, and therefore we have to change. Let me start by thanking sincerely the organizers of this event for making it a success. I think it's one of the events that we are supporting as a ministry, and we are happy about it, the Farm Kenya Mkulima Expo. I also wish to thank distinguished participants who have traveled from near and far to be with us here to make sure that the event is successful. Special thanks goes to all of you, all the guests that are here. I know you have had busy schedules, but you took time to be with us. So we really appreciate your contribution in terms of time and effort that you have put. Well, I'm informed that the Expo seeks to highlight how we have managed to beat the COVID-19 pandemic to ensure that we have safe food on the table, and also come up with future strategies to feed our nation. Now, it's common knowledge that agriculture is a main contributor. The sector contributes a lot in the development of this country. Employment we are employing about 80% of the population. 25% of the GDP comes from this sector. And therefore, it's a very important sector that we cannot ignore. When we look at our Vision 2030, agriculture is a key driver to achievement of the development strategies that are envisaged in Vision 2030. The Big Four agenda. One main agenda is basically on agriculture, food security. Therefore, it's a very important sector to drive the economy of this country. Now, for this reason, the Ministry of Agriculture, Livestock, Fisheries and Cooperatives attaches a lot of importance to events such as this one, events that are touching farmers, events that are helping us reach the farmer. We attach a lot of importance to because they facilitate dissemination of information, innovation, technologies, and the knowledge that comes from our research institutions to the farming community. And this is very key if we have to attain our growth. So, ladies and gentlemen, just like other sectors, agriculture has been adversely affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. Kenya's vibrant economy has faced significant disruptions since the country reported its first case in March 2013. And in addition, first 2020, sorry. In addition, Kenya's farmers are currently facing locust inflation. You know, we have a serious locust inflation that we are dealing with, and other agricultural challenges. And as a result, food production, export for agricultural communities, and local trade in agriculture are adversely affected. Despite all these players in agriculture, including the players that are here, players in value chain, have been resilient and worked to ensure that our food security is sustained. Our farmers and other agricultural stakeholders are constantly searching for information on new technologies to boost productivity, and this is evidenced by the numerous benchmarking trips that we have made. And I hope that as we move to the future, we'll benchmark from our own institutions so that we'll be able to move forward. We have had a lot of people, a lot of our staff benchmarking from South Africa, from Brazil, from elsewhere. And this is good. It shows that what we have. We also have serious interaction with farmers through platforms like this one and others we have created the ministry. We are really engaging with farmers through TVs, through magazines and relevant radio programs to be able to pass information. So this activity that is here, the Mkulima Expo, is quite key to us and is supporting what we are doing. Ladies and gentlemen, there's a huge global transformation taking place in information superhighway. Kenya's uptake of digital solutions is helping to strengthen resilience in the agriculture sector and subsequent attainment of food and nutrition security. We must allow this group, the standard group, and the Kenya, and allow me to call it KALRO, the Kenya Agricultural Research and Organization, who have partnered to promote agricultural activities through this initiative, through this platform. In this regard, the two organizations have organized a semi-virtual edition of annual Mkulima Expo due to COVID-19 restrictions and gatherings. And as a means, we look forward to support such events. Because of what is there now, we have to change. We also realize that it's also efficient. We'll be able to reach every farmer. It's also very effective. So we'll be able to support some of these things so that we can be able to move forward. The standard group has committed to impacting farmers through farming communities through their 360 media strength. and we must appreciate the team. The resources that you are putting in, we must appreciate and thank you for that. The company has created many other, created the Farm Kenya initiative under the Corporate Affairs Department to coordinate all the agriculture-related products and activities. Such activities include the Saturday standard dubbed Smart Harvest and Technology. I'm also informed that we have a 24-hour TV agribusiness station, and this adds to what we do, and many, many others that have been listed here. So we want really to thank you for supporting us as a government to be able to reach the farmers. This is indeed a great initiative to provide private sector and a great initiative by a private sector organization to provide solutions to our citizens and engage in strategic leadership in support of the growth in the farming communities. KALRO, as the mandate of the director said, it is mandated to do research, streamline, coordinate all the research work in crops and all the other activities in agricultural activities, including animal, livestock, and all these things, and is mandated to be able to reach all the farmers. So we feel that as a ministry, we're going to continue supporting KALRO to be able to do more research, so that we'll be able to develop technology and innovation that are working for our people. The organization is therefore well placed to support agricultural productivity in this country and ensure sufficiency. The partnership between KALRO has forged with the Standard Group to organize this Expo and other activities is a very good example of a functional, beneficial public-private partnership. We've realized as a ministry that the way to go forward is to synergize, work together with the private sector, so that the private sector can be able to move. The private sector has the muscle, it has the finances, as we provide the Lego and the research component. So it's very important, and this is an event that we will continue supporting as a government. So, ladies and gentlemen, the theme of Expo, if I have seen it well, is resilience in agricultural sector amidst the COVID-19 pandemic. It is quite relevant at this time and sits well with the ministry and the government during the COVID pandemic, when our farmer gatherings, actually field days that we used to use, the agricultural shows that were very common, are not now possible. They are very limited. Yet information and technologies must be disseminated. Farmers must continue growing. Farmers must continue doing farming. So we really appreciate this. We know the disease is still with us. It is going to be with us for a long time. And therefore, this kind of initiative will be able to support us, will be able to enable us to reach these farmers. Now, I have also noted that with satisfaction of the various thematic groups that you have included, thematic areas that you are working on. And these are the key areas that you have 6 of them, and these are the key areas that we also deal in the ministry. We feel that we have to digitize our farming if we have to achieve anything. So the digital platform, the technology in agriculture, those are things that we are working, and we will be able. We think we are in the right direction. Women and youth, our population is very aged, and therefore we need to digitize our farming so that we are able to attract youth and be able to move forward. So the 6 thematic areas to us are very key, and this is what the government has been impacting on. We have no option, gentlemen. We have no option. We have to feed our people. We have to feed our nation. And sometimes it's embarrassing when we cannot feed ourselves. We have to feed our nation. So through solutions that come from research-based solutions, and innovations that are working for our farmers. So we believe with KALRO, with other institutions that the government is supporting, and with support from private sector, like now the Standard Media Group and the others that we are working with, we feel we'll be able to achieve. We have been sharing with George a lot, and we feel that the government, the ministry, will be able to provide an environment. Provide an environment and framework, legal framework that is necessary to catalyze development. We have tried many models as a public sector, and it has not been very successful. So the way forward is partnership. And really we are proud of KALRO and the Standard Group for showing us the way. We will continue encouraging more partnerships. For the government, as a government, we're going to provide proper legal framework. You have seen our CS has been quite tough on reforming some value chains, because we've realized that, Mr. Kimathi, you cannot make money when you have cartels in between us. So we want the farmers to be able, we want to remove the cartel, let the farmers do everything themselves and look at the complete value chain. So we believe that we will be able to achieve this through your support and through research. For our institutions, I'm informed by my peers that we will support you because we need solutions from research. We cannot continue suffering when we have institutions. So basically, my message today is to tell you that as we start this, that we are with you, we support you, partner with more private sector organizations, because that's the way to go. The displays that I've seen also, I've seen, they are good technologies that you have, and they'll be able to help our farmers. We are, for example, we want to support the cotton value chain. I've seen you have the BT cotton, which is quite very good. We want to support the main sector, which has also been very low, and all these other value chains. We want to be able to support our farmers so they make sense. So before I conclude, I would like to sincerely thank all the other public and private sector partners who joined in the efforts of making this event successful. Your financial and material contribution has made it possible for the farmers to access crucial information on KALRO technologies. Thank you so much for what you've done. We want to request that you continue supporting us as we move forward. We are quite grateful because of our private sector and our other supporters, because even the policies that are coming on board, and we have a very good environment now. We are working on policies that will support our farmers so that we are able to move forward and make our farming commercial. So basically, I think with those few remarks, I really believe that the two-day event will not only widely be covered, but also be very fruitful, for the centers that are showing and the people who are watching us. It is now my pleasant duty and honor to declare the Mkulima Expo 2021 officially opened. Thank you very much.
Let's appreciate our chief guest, Engineer Kanui. We appreciate your very loaded speech, and we look forward to the support from the ministry. And some of the things I picked out of his speech is that we must digitize agriculture so that we can make agriculture attractive to not only the elderly people, but also to our youth. Statistics show us that the median age of a successful farmer in Kenya is about 55 years of age. Inversely, our population, the way it's structured, 80% of our population is youth. Clearly, we have a huge task ahead of us. I also liked what he brought about when he touched on a hungry nation is an angry nation. This comes from his speech where he said, we have no option but to feed the nation. Isn't it? Would you mind telling your neighbor, what are you doing as someone in this industry? We have no option but to feed the nation. I can't hear you. We have no option but to feed the nation. All right. Thank you so much to our panelists, to our chief guests. Let's appreciate all of them one more time. At this point in time, we will be going for a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll be crossing over to the exhibition center, where we have some of the top-notch researchers, experts, ready to showcase to us what the future of agriculture looks like, some interesting technologies, innovations that we can consider in our day-to-day undertakings. From me, I say for now, we shall be engaging more, interacting more. And to our viewers, remember to engage with us on our social media handles at KTN News and also at KTN Farmers. And we are going on a quick commercial break. When we come back, my colleagues, Noah Kipkemboi, as well as Brenda Kirubo, will be standing by to give us the latest on what is happening out there on this two-day forum where we are bringing to you the Mkulima Expo 2021. Don't go too far. We'll be back after this quick break.